What's good? I'm Chris from the Chris Collins Show, Millennial Talk Show, featuring Cannibal Kids, a Miami indie alternative rock band known for urban exploration and sipping mojitos in the Florida sun. With new music in the horizon, join Off the Fret. More music talk. What's good, listeners? Our guest joining us is indie rock band from Miami, Florida, Cannibal Kids, and we got vocalist and rhythm guitarist Damian Gutierrez with us. This is Off the Fret. More music talk. How you doing, my man?
Dude, I'm doing great, man. Fresh off the road and spending a few days in LA. I'm just trying to relax until I get back home.
And that's what's good. And we're definitely going to be talking about that West Coast leg of the tour. But, you know, I always like to do this right at the top of the show because we need to understand what's going on. Because we already know we had you on before in the past, and we understand where the theme of the name Cannibal Kids come from. But I never asked you this, you know, the first time you joined us on the Chris Collins Show, Millennial Talk Show. And who in the band is Army Hammer? Is there anybody that's into cannibalism?
Who's Army Hammer?
Who is it? I mean, is it Dustin? Is it Luke? Is it? I mean, it might be you. I mean, what's going on?
What's it called? It's like we've all tasted a little bit of skin before. You know, it's nothing too big. You can actually eat most of the human body. You just can't eat the brain. If you eat the brain, like that's game over.
Yeah, I guess that kind of makes sense because I mean, your sense of communication. You know, you can't really see anything. I guess that all makes sense. You know, anybody that's biting their toenails, don't be doing that anytime soon. Let's leave that for Cannibal Kids. Let's leave that for Damien. But, you know, you already started setting it off right away at the top of the show. And, I mean, how's it been finishing up your West Coast leg of your tour? I mean, has anything stand out more than ever?
Yeah, man, this was the most exciting and cathartic tour I've ever been on. I also got robbed on this tour, and that's a crazy story. That's a crazy story all on its own. But aside from that insane event,
were you robbed in LA?
I was robbed in Portland, actually.
Oh, Portland. Oh, yeah, it was a junkie. Was it a junkie?
Yeah,
it was totally a junkie.
I got my stuff back. That's the crazy part. We found the people who took it. It was an entire event. It was crazy. However, the rest of the tour wasn't as, you know, as sexy as that. It was an insanely great tour. We had record numbers everywhere we went. We pulled tickets everywhere we went. I was just excited and happy about that.
But I can't just let you slide, Damien, with the stolen gear story. I always love those kind of fun stories. We just literally had last Friday a great punk SoCal band called Moonraker, and they got their stolen gear from Mexico. So you just got yours recently in Portland. How can that possibly happen? Is someone like grading like, you know, a chain lock and breaking into you guys' van?
I think honestly, it's all very up in the air, and it just happened 2 days ago. So I think what happened was that we got kind of hit by some really organized crime. I think as soon as we arrived at the venue, we were approached by some kind of shady characters that were kind of just asking questions about the show, which is pretty normal. Like, you always interact with people from the city, and it's normal to get asked questions about, you know, is the show all ages? Can you get us in? Like, that's totally normal. But I think we were distracted, or something happened where during our loadout, for a split second, there was a window where maybe nobody was looking, and they snagged our bags and Raquel's purse, my touring partner's purse. And we didn't notice until the load out, where we're putting all of our gear back, and we're like, wait, where's our stuff?
Oh, wow.
And we get to the Airbnb, and I open the trunk, and our luggage is gone too. And we're like, oh my God, they took our luggage.
They took everything. That was more than one person. That was definitely more than one.
And I'm like, bro, my bag is like 20 pounds. My luggage is 50 pounds. Raquel's luggage is 70 pounds. We're like, how could this have happened? And then in that moment, I look at Raquel and I go, dude, you have air tags in your luggage. We can track down where our shit's at. And we're like, oh my God. And this is already 1:32 in the morning. And we look on our phones, and sure enough, an air tag lights up 30 minutes on the edge of Portland, and it's still there. And we're like, we're getting our shit back. And my tour manager's like, we're getting vengeance. And everybody.
So it's a soprano moment.
So we're like, we're going to fucking Portland, and we're getting our shit back. So we drive 30 minutes, and the whole time we're tracking, and we're like, what are we doing? We're calling the police. We're calling the hotel. Oh, and it's in a hotel. It's in a motel called Portland Inn. So we know that the people are still there who have our stuff. So we're driving, we're calling the police, we're doing all the things we can. We get there and like we're using the phone all over the hotel. The hotel is shady as hell. Obviously, it's like a dingy, grungy ass hotel. There's like addicts everywhere. There's Jethros everywhere. And we're like, this is the final boss of the tour, right?
It's one of the bosses in Elden Ring. You had no idea that you're going to be confronting this big ass beast.
So we wait about 25 minutes. At this point, we've called the police maybe 5 times, and they've given us
response.
They've given us that, hey, we don't know when people are getting there. We know that we've gotten your report. You know, it's a busy night. It's a Friday night, so it's insane. You know, so we're waiting there. Whole time, Raquel and my guys were all like waiting in the van, like kind of trying to game plan what we're going to do. My tour manager is like counseling the people who are at this hotel. And he's like getting reconnaissance, like who's in that room? What's the situation? We know that like shit's already going down here because one of the hotel rooms that we walked by, the door was open and there's stolen cell phones galore, shoes, jewelry. It was already, they had already had stuff in there. And I was like, man, I bet some of our stuff's in there too. Long story short, our TM, his name's Andreas Daza. He's the fucking Banff, the craziest man in the world. He knocks on the door, and sure enough, a dude peeks his head through the window, and like by the way, I'm in a van 3 stories down, so I'm watching this happen. He opens the door and Daza walks in. At this point, me, Luke, and Raquel jump out of the van and we're running to the hotel room. So we run there, and when we walk inside, it's 2 like crackheads, and all of our stuff is itemized in this hotel room. Wow. So all of our shoes are in one corner, all of our show clothes are in one corner, our toiletries in one corner, our electronics are in one corner. They separated all of our stuff in little rooms. And
not the first time they robbed somebody.
Yeah, that's organized crime. I mean, this don't sound like that's insane.
Well, did you end up fighting them? I just want to know. Did you guys go to blows? Because I would have been smacking some motherfuckers. I'd be like, go jet, dude. It'd be on and cracking.
It'd be just drop kicking right in the face.
Dude, we were so upset because what ended up happening was as soon as Daza had mentioned that the police were on their way, homeboy starts freaking out. He puts his hands in his coat. We're like, hey, dude, like relax. He's backing out behind the door. He boots it to the door. Luke is by the door, like holding him down. He swings at Luke. He punches Luke. He runs through, and we're like, yo, like don't chase him. Let him run away. It's not worth it. And then, but the whole time, like while this is happening, my bass player and my keyboard player, Eli and Marty, are holding the fort down by the van. They're watching the van. They call the police. They tell them when assaults happen. Now the police are arriving. Now, finally, now that there's a physical assault, somebody's arriving. But by that point, we'd already scavenged the entire hotel room. At that point, we didn't give a fuck because all that was left was his cracked out girlfriend. So she's freaking out in the corner.
You're just missing out on the vlog. I need a vlog moment of this one. That is insane. You know what would be really cool? Actually, shoot a music video about this encounter.
I know.
That
dude.
would actually
I
be kind of a crazy experience.
So luckily, we were able to get back about maybe 50 to 60% of our stuff back. The key items are still missing, but the most important part and the biggest lesson learned is that, one, our lives are worth more than any piece of clothing or any piece of tech or any piece of anything. We're worth a lot more. And I also learned that for $100, you get 4 air tags. And I'm learning that you need to tag everything possible on the road.
Ain't that the truth? Ain't that the truth? I think that's actually such a valuable lesson for a lot of up and coming, rock stars and musicians out there that want to make it in the game. Because
and here's the thing, like I'm no scrub. None of us on the road are scrubs, man. Dawes has been touring professionally since 2016. I've been touring since I've been 18. That I have 7 years of touring under my belt. I'm extremely careful on the road. This happens it's never a matter of when, it's always a matter of, or I'm sorry, it's not a matter of if, it's always a matter of when it's going to happen. You have to prepare for worst case scenario. You always have to have an eye on the van. Now I know you have to have eyes on both sides of the van, fucking 4 sides of the van. Make sure the entire perimeter of the van is covered every stop you make.
Well, thank God, you know, for iOS devices now, like just like how you said, I mean, it's just like when you lose your car keys, you lose your phone. I mean, you could even put a magnet under the van and you go, why the hell did my trailer just go?
Yeah, I know, dude.
Hey, why is my trailer driving off by itself?
Yeah,
wait a minute.
Down the I-35.
Wait a minute.
So my manager was like, look, $400. I'm buying enough air tags to stuff in your ass. One is going in your ass. One's going in your ass. I'm keeping track of all of you. We are never losing each other.
So instead of the days of, getting a condom and sticking your drugs up your ass, stick an air tag in, and you guys will be completely successful on the run. You know what, David?
Yes,
I think that's such a great point. But, other than that crazy fiasco at the end of your West Coast leg of your tour, I am so stoked to hear that, the majority of the tour on the West End has been fabulous for you guys.
It's been amazing. Our Los Angeles show, our Oakland show, even our small show at Fresno, like everywhere we went, we had ecstatic fans. And last time we were there, it was our first time. So it's like your first time in these markets. You're not sure how many tickets you can sell, not sure who's going to show up. And this time our expectations were blown through the water. Every time we played, it was a packed room. And
that's awesome, David.
It was great.
I love hearing that, man. And let's start talking about some music now, because I know you guys got we're about to be playing one of your singles, Jeans, which is a song to me that perfectly encompasses the millennial mindset, because we talk, we catch feelings, we fuck, we have a great time, and then we end up ignoring each other, right? So, we're living in kind of very intense times, with the idea that, one size fits all. We all want that kind of perfect partner, to love us. That's very attractive. At least I do. I don't know. I think every guy thinks like I'm thinking. I want an attractive babe, right? But they got no personality sometimes. Or maybe it's me. Maybe I don't have any personality. But what's your thought?
Definitely have personality, Chris. You have personality. Okay. You're okay there.
Thank God my co-host.
Yeah, I gave you a compliment for once.
But what were you guys trying to grasp with this track, Jeans?
So Jeans is a story. It's interesting. When I wrote Jeans, I kind of started practicing this new songwriting style that I picked up from old bossa nova tunes, and more recently like Phoebe Bridgers and Faye Webster. And it's called personhood writing. And it's kind of like writing a story or writing a song that only one person is truly going to understand what I'm saying. And I think in a way, making a song hyper specific makes it all that more relatable to people who understand the story. So I think on the surface, Jeans is obviously a breakup story. And it's kind of about like mourning, like the loss of a very special person in your life. But in the details, in the specific verbiage and the wording and the imagery that I'm painting, only one person is going to really know what I'm talking about.
Are you talking about the virgin who finally has sex, and the sex is so good, and then he breaks up with his ex? Now love is lost. Is that what we're going with?
No, it's actually even heavier than that. The lyrics, paint a picture of somebody who recently has cancer and is like trying to like come in contact with another person. And there's just like a lot. Honestly, Jeans is one of the songs that I'm most proud about writing, because I felt like sometimes you write a song and you're not sure if you fully grasped what you were trying to say in the song. And I think every line that I wrote for that song has a very specific meaning. And the person who it was written about, they're going to really know what it is about. You know what I mean? And it's kind of like that.
There's like a hidden message, and I guess you're kind of like allowing the listener to kind of interpret it, like kind of like what I'm doing right now, to be whatever mood it says.
Yeah, and to me, like that's what I love about it, because on the surface, it's a great relatable song about having a really like special relationship that folds, but beneath that, there's an even deeper story being told. And I actually would love it if I never tell specifically what that story's about.
Well, maybe one day,
maybe one day,
20 years down the road, and we revisit, we retouch again, we go, Damien, you got to keep up on your promise. I want to know the full story to Jeans. But hey, instead of like teasing the CCS family, what's good, Marissa, let's go ahead and show the listening audience what's good by playing Cannibal Kids' music video, Jeans, live on Off the Fret.
Maybe sweet, I'm talking about it. Driving 95 on his own. A broken stereo, a little song. Trapped inside the center, tasting menthol. A peace of mind from a stupid song. I don't know what happened to the boy I knew. Last song on somebody's having. Maybe I was wrong, running out of time. Try to cut you out, focus on my mind. Sleeping in regret, knowing what I lost. The CD on repeat, driving through the frost of a slow turn. Another tip on your letters. Baby, you remember our forever. Am I audible? Wishing that you got me, 'cause I'd be standing there, screaming in a loud applause, drowned in stares, alone to bear. Maybe I was wrong, running out of time. Try to cut you out, focus on my mind. Sleeping in regret, knowing what I lost. The CD on repeat, driving through the frost of a slow. Maybe I was wrong, running out of time. Try to cut you out, focus on my mind. Sleeping in regret, knowing what I lost. The CD on repeat, driving through the frost of a slow. Dropped another tip on your letters. Baby, you remember our forever. I don't know what's right, I don't know what's wrong. Talking to myself, haunting all my nights. I don't know what's right, haunting all my nights. Talking to myself, hanging on the shelf. You could do without, burning through the wood, banging on my chest, smoking up the rest, sewing up a vein, cleaning up the stains, you know. Maybe I was wrong, running out of time. Try to cut you out, focus on my mind. Sleeping in regret, knowing what I lost. The CD on repeat, driving through the frost of a slow. Maybe I was wrong, running out of time. Try to cut you out, focus on my mind. Sleeping in regret, knowing what I lost. The CD on repeat, driving through the frost of a slow. Dropped another tip on your letters. Baby, you remember our forever.
Yeah, that's what's good. That is Cannibal Kids, and that is their music video, Jeans. And you know what? When Cannibal Kids are coming up with new material, what formula do you usually follow when you're writing music?
Recently, in the past 2 years, oh man, this is really exciting to talk about. So most bands get in a room, they sit in a room, somebody has an idea, and they feed it to everybody else, and they spitball ideas until the song is finished. And they're there physically with their instruments, and they're playing ideas out, and they're fleshing the ideas out. Well, interesting enough, we've actually kind of stepped away from that over the last, for a lot of the part of Deadheads and a lot of the new record, where me, Dustin, and Luke are all writing independently at home on our own computers. So we all produce, and we all use Ableton. So what's really neat is that when I have an idea, I can flesh it out really thoroughly in Ableton and basically produce.
Yeah, what is
really
Ableton? Because
demo.
even myself is not necessarily familiar with this.
Okay,
software.
yeah. So Ableton is a music creation software. You can record audio on there. You can tweak, cut, trim. You can add effects. It's a very, very detailed and expansive music creation software, or what's known as a digital audio workspace, otherwise a DAW. That's what we call it.
Yeah, right.
Right. I'm sure you guys are familiar with maybe Audacity or FL Studios or Logic. Right. There's Pro Tools. There's a million versions.
I know Pro Tools. That was the one I knew. Yeah. I was like Pro Tools.
College. I know Pro Tools.
I can be part of this conversation now. No.
Yes. So we all use Ableton, and because we all use Ableton, we're able to create demos on our computers and send them to each other. We can send the physical or the digital project file to each other, and they can tweak it and send it back. So we've been doing this thing now where we'll flesh an idea on our own and get like the tonal and textural feel of the song, the recorded instruments, and we can kind of give a really detailed idea to one another.
Yeah, that's kind of intriguing because there's no like marching leader. You guys are all kind of just like throwing ideas together. But what ends up happening when you're not vibing with it? I mean, after all, you are the vocalist. You have to kind of sing to the music. And I know when you guys did Bloom, it was very kind of guitar driven. And then when Deadheads came out, you guys kind of brought that synth and pop. And so what are you guys doing now when you guys are starting to explore new music and trying to figure out what you guys are vibing with?
So really, it all comes down to research. Everything that I ever do is all about artistic research. I'm always reading books, watching films, trying to find inspiration in things that most people will overlook. I mean, even when I came up with the name Deadheads, I found that name in a botanist dictionary because I was looking for more words to write about. And I do this often. This new music has been written over the pandemic. It's been a lot of I've been pulling inspiration from a lot of weird places, honestly. But the songwriting process has remained more or less the same. I'll have an idea. Dustin will have an idea. We'll show it to each other. I'll start demoing my ideas back at home. We all sit then what happens is once an idea is like really good, we all agree on it. We all sit in front of a computer together and we all take turns sitting in front of the computer, adding ideas, saying, hey, that part should be lower. Hey, the kick should be a lot punchier, bouncier on this part. Oh, I got this idea. Well, we're going to do a beat switch and the rest of the song is going to be completely different.
What ends up happening though, because like I know for some vocalists like yourself, sometimes it comes easier to write the lyrics first and then you write the music around it.
Oh, yeah.
Or are you the complete opposite?
It just depends. I will say about 7 out of 10 times, I am definitely writing the instrumental before I write the vocals.
Because you got to know the kind of vocal patterns and the tones and the kind of melodies.
Yeah. And actually, the way I think about it is that like the song, the instrumental is like the canvas and the vocal is the subject of the painting. But it also can vary. Sometimes the vocal might be blended in with the background. It might not be an upfront vocal song. It might be where the songs take a kickback and it's more of a vibey kind of song. I've also been experimenting a lot with song structuring. I mean, Deadheads and Bloom are very verse, chorus, bridge, chorus type of songs. Even Jeans is a verse, bridge, chorus kind of song.
Right. So you guys are trying to break away from the kind of the traditional sense of song formatting.
Exactly. And the new music is very much like, we're going to ride this A part out for 2 minutes and then we're going to jump into this next part and it's going to seamlessly transition. What I will say about Jeans is what I accomplished with Jeans is having a song where the chord progression doesn't change between the verse and the chorus and it seamlessly rides out the entire time. So it feels like you can listen to the song over and over and over again. It never has to resolve.
I think that is so cool.
Yeah.
And go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say, if I get deeper into like the songwriting aspect, I'm choosing specific chord progressions where we never have to resolve to the home one chord. So in music, like we use numbers to identify what chords we're using. So you might say like a 2-5-1 or a 2-6-5-1 chord progression. We never choose to hit the one chord in Jeans, which means that the song never feels like it truly resolves. The instrumental can keep going and it can keep repeating over and over again. That's how you write an endless feeling song.
I think that's why it's such a kick-ass record that's going to stay for the lifetime. And, I know you guys are in the middle of the recording process and you're starting to create new music. And I just recently watched that fabulous film. It's called Coda. If you haven't had the chance to see it, I highly recommend checking it out, Damien. And this might kind of sound like a cliche question, but it's a genuine question. And there's a moment in the film where I'm kind of giving you a little bit of a spoiler.
Yeah, go ahead.
But the girl is with her music teacher, and the music teacher asks her, how do you feel when you sing? Like, how do you feel, Damien, when you jump into the record booth, when you jump live on stage? What's that kind of feeling that you feel in that chest?
It really depends on the context, man. When I'm in the booth, it's my job to capture the realest, rawest emotion on wax. Like when I'm in the studio, I like to keep it super low key. I don't want any extra people in there. It needs to just be me, the engineer, and my guys. I don't want anybody else in there. And I'm in the booth, like I said, capturing the realest, rawest emotion. And I need to harbor the emotion that I had when writing the song. Because an artist is the most tender and the most raw in the instant the idea is coming out of them.
Yeah.
So when you go to the booth, the idea's already been written 1,001 times. You've already heard the song 10,000 times before you even reach the booth, because during the songwriting process. So the whole point is you need to harbor it in you until you can finalize it for the record. So that's that side of it, and that's how I feel. I feel I need to be my most emotionally resonant.
You don't want too many. You don't even want your bandmates chirping in your ear. It's like, you guys are great.
Exactly.
You guys are doing a really good job. But like, at least you're like completely honest about that. I think, because some people, they're just like, nah, bro. Because there are musicians like that. There definitely are people where I used to remember stories where they go, I'm in a totally, completely different booth. I know Mick Jagger used to do that back in the day, and that's something that's definitely intriguing.
Some people, the studio is a party, it's a vacation, and I love that vibe. But for me, it's more of I need to hammer out this so I can produce the best content possible, the best song possible.
I think that's so cool, Damien. And I know that we're about to be playing your third single off your record, Deadheads, which again is a love song inspired by reminiscing through voicemails you would get from old relationships, which begs the question, Damien. I mean, why are you still using voicemails? I mean, my God, don't you get anxiety when you're using voicemail? I mean, can't your babe just text you instead? I mean, that's insane.
I know, right? I know. It's just, on my phone, I have about maybe 300 voicemails over the last few years. And this song was just written in a moment where I was like, hey, why do I have so many voicemails? I scrolled all the way to the bottom and I heard some voicemails from years ago. And I was like, wow, I feel extremely nostalgic when I hear these. I remember exactly where I was.
That is so funny. And so you really have a set up voicemail today?
Still to this day.
Well, we just heard.
I hate people like you.
I know. I was just
about to say. No, I hate people don't have voicemail.
If you can't figure out the message in and alone of itself that my voicemail's not set up, just text me. You don't really want to hear from me, or you don't even want to talk to me if you're not sending me a text message. Just call me. But hey, let's play the music video in and alone of itself. This is Cannibal Kids' music video, Voicemail, live on Off the Fret.
Sorry to bother you again. I didn't realize how many days you've been out. Feels like forever. I'm sure you're going to be exhausted when you get home, but please just give me a call. All right, I'll talk to you later. I love you. Bye. Oh, wait. By the way, I've heard there's some dudes serial robbing people around Miami. Be careful.
I was looking at my past boy running through the seashores by the beach. Now I'm looking at the pavement, feeling like a vagrant in these streets. And I be asking why all the times change, where your life's been to mine. And I remember when you would send those voicemails while I was sleeping. And she'd say, I swear I can never do wrong, but you never do. Take it all off, baby. You don't have nothing to prove. Oh, I swear I can never do wrong, but you never do wrong with you. She swears she can take it all off, baby. You don't have nothing to hasty, I didn't see. Though it was a surprise, seeing truth from your lies. And though it's hard for me to see through your pride, I have to admit I was ignorant. And I get that we had to move this aside, but I hope you miss it, baby. I swear I can never do wrong, but you never do wrong with you. She swears she could take it all off, baby. You don't have was not the right time to settle on a life. And oh, the time is changing. She says I need to inhale after hearing those voicemails from when we were together. Oh, if I could take it back, I would say anything to restring up my heart or repel us from the start. If I could see the scene, a message after the beep.
Rock and roll. That was Cannibal Kids' music video, Voicemail, live on Off the Fret. And Damien, you were sort of touching upon it, earlier in the talking point, but I wanted to hold it for now because, obviously I was reading online and there were some people confused with your record Deadheads, thinking it was a tribute band for Grateful Dead.
It's a Grateful Dead.
Which is so strange to me because, who the fuck are your fans? Are they a YMCA club? I mean, my God. I mean, what Gen Z or millennial listens to the Grateful Dead? That's the most random response I've ever had.
So it's one of those things where, again, I found the name Deadheads in a book for botanistry. It was,
which is where they got it too, by the way.
You have a very...
Just so you know, that's where the Deadhead comes from being botanist, weed, all of that. That's where you got it too.
Yeah, I got the name because it literally means to snip the heads of dead flowers to encourage further blooming. So when I read it, I was like, it's perfect. It's like the part 2. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
right?
that's exactly why they use Deadhead. But that's what I just want to say. You got it from there, and so did Deadheads.
But I'm starting to notice a theme with you, Damien, because you kind of remind me of a very old soul. You're still using voicemails. You're reading dictionaries. My God, who the hell reads a dictionary? And you're not just reading just a normal dictionary. You're reading a botanical dictionary.
Yeah.
So strange to me. And I guess you were kind of getting at that. And that's what's kind of cool about your records because, Bloom and then Deadheads, they all kind of seem to interweave. And is this a common theme that you want to introduce with Cannibal Kids where each album is the next chapter of Cannibal Kids?
You know what? That's an extremely great question and really insightful that you've noticed that. Yes, I've realized in the journey of songwriting and trying out new songs and trying out new things, I've written songs that were one-off, like Nice Boy, Sweet Girl with Casey Conroy, and this new song that's going to be coming out soon called Make It With You. These are songs that I write, but when I think about the album and the story that albums tell, my favorite stories are the ones where you see a linear timeline between the records. You can almost pinpoint exactly where that artist was and what caused them to write that record. The historic context behind the record is very important to me. I've come to notice that I write my best when I'm writing about my real life experiences. Now I can write songs love songs that are kind of an invisible person and about nothing really. Or I can write songs about this or that and kind of have no emotional attachment to them and they can feel great. But the ones that I feel really hit are the ones that are about my specific personal life. So this new record will be about that. It'll be about this trying times and the transformation Cannibal Kids is going through right now and the internal struggle between the three of us growing up and our lives changing directions and how Cannibal Kids has been redefined over and over and over again these past few years. That's what this new record is going to be about.
Yeah, and that's what I appreciate about you boys, because you guys are never married to a sound. You guys are always constantly exploring new avenues. You guys always kind of remind me sometimes of Japanese pop, and sometimes you guys remind me you guys could be opening up for Arctic Monkeys one day after another. So I find you guys are going to be around for a very long time. But yes. Damien, I picked out something from a written article where you had some choice words to describe Deadheads, and you said, quote, "It's fun, quirky, and honest indie pop album that's got a diverse set of infectious, ear-warmy tunes," and which kind of makes me wonder, do I want to know what ear-warmy tunes is? Hell yeah, I do. What the hell does that mean?
Ear-warmy means that it's hooky. Like when you listen to it, you get it in your head and it stays in your head over and over again. My test for a good song is when I finish or when I'm writing it, if it's not stuck in my head for days while I'm writing it, it's not worth working on.
Which seems like another thing that's stuck in your head is toxic relationships. Like, I mean, this is kind of an ongoing theme I've noticed with you boys because, like, we're about to be playing your music video, I Keep My Eyes Closed, which, again, you know, you're revisiting the memories of a toxic relationship, which is making me wonder, like, who the hell needs to go on a speed dating, you know, service? Because someone in the band is clearly feeling pain. But you guys got this like really cool kind of like visual thing going on in the music video where you got like this like disembodied floating hand. So what's this metaphor that you're trying to encompass? Because it was kind of creepy at the same time.
So hands are a motif that I've been playing around with since the beginning of Cannibal Kids, and I'm going to continue playing with it. It's all over. It's in our merchandise. It's in our artwork. It's in the songs. The disembodied hands are kind of like, first off, hands are the way we interact with the world. This is like, in my opinion, I call them the second face, because you have your face, which is your identity in the world, but the way you interact with the world are your hands, and the way that you carry yourself, you carry others, all has to do with this. And I love the imagery of it. There's like extremely like ancient cultural significance. I mean, so many cultures have used hands. The Aztecs have used hands for imagery of for fertility. Hinduism has used hands for spirituality. And in our way, I want to take hands and use them for our own imagery. And
that's actually a very trippy philosophy that you're bringing up, because I think that is so true. I mean, if you want to lend a hand to somebody, you want to be a working man, you want to learn in the classroom. Right. It is technically the second face. So
basically, for Cannibal Kids, like hands are our identity. It's my face. That's who I am. Are these hands, and what they're doing in the art, in the imagery of our artwork, or in the imagery of this music video. That's what they're representing in that moment. I even have the cover of one of our arts tattooed on my body, and I have this also as well. I'm very much into this imagery, and I'm going to continue using it for for many more years to come.
I think that's so cool, and that's why I can't wait to even see even further when it comes to the upcoming LP. So, guys, at least the little antidote that we know is more disembodied hands are going to be coming real soon. And we got the music video right here. So, Marissa, if you're ready, let's show the listening audience what's good by playing Cannibal Kids music video, I Keep My Eyes Closed, live on Off the Fret.
I never reminisce about the past. I never think about the times we lost. Oh no, I never think about the way I feel. I keep my head up, looking forward for the next thrill. Oh, just love me, love. Oh. Inside my head I hear those violins, oh no. Just love me, love, oh, When you talk to me, I keep my eyes closed, baby, I don't wanna see those memories
is Cannibal Kids, and that is their music video, I Keep My Eyes Closed, live on Off the Fret. And I know throughout the years as an artist, I mean, what is the biggest, problems Cannibal Kids have encountered in your journey of music? I mean, other than the stolen gear,
other than the stolen gear,
other than the stolen gear, I mean,
shit back.
Because you're right, but like, I guess I'm trying to bring more of that kind of industry talk. I mean, what are kind of some of those things,
the biggest thing that most artists are going to run into is always going to be financing. This is a very expensive journey. It's all, and as much as I want to sit here and say, man, your art is good enough to stand on its own merit. And that is true for a lot of artists. They're lucky enough where the music is so great, so infectious, so culturally impactful that they can sidestep the industry and go directly to the consumer and have a career that way. 90% of the industry is extremely talented musicians who have extremely promising acts and extremely promising ideas, but do not have the financial backing to support the music. And I mean, just touring alone is tens of thousands of dollars. And if you're coming, like for me, for instance, I come from Miami, but I'm really an hour south of Miami from a small farm town called Homestead. My family is immigrant workers. I come from a blue collar family. Nobody in my family has connects to the industry or has finances or extra money for music. I had to carve out my own way into the industry, find my own investors, find my own people who believed in me and were willing to drop money on my projects. So that's always going to be the number one thing that we have to resolve. Making an album is expensive. Making merchandise is expensive. Advertising your music is expensive. Going out to the fucking West Coast and doing this is all expensive. So
$5, $6 gas. Yeah.
Yeah, dude. And gas, what a time to even tour, dude. Like,
yeah, I know, right? You picked the perfect time to go on the West Coast.
We're at war. Gas is so expensive. Like, and I'm just here trying to play my love songs and heartbreak songs for a couple hundred.
And I think that's so true. I mean, the touring gig aspect is kind of crazy, but it's like, how do you feel like the internet has impacted the music business today? Because a lot of the times I think about Apple Music and Spotify, and it almost seems like you're gagged, your hands are tied together, your legs, and you're held hostage because they take a majority of the revenue from your music. And do you like this? I mean, would you go somewhere else?
Chris, it is such a double-edged sword. And I mean, as grateful as I am for these platforms and the way the industry has shaped over the last few years, I started making music during the SoundCloud and Bandcamp era of 2013 to 2015. So the fact that I can have my music on the same platform as a Drake or as the Ramones or as any other artist, and my music is feasibly tangible,
accessible, right? Yeah,
accessible. I will always be extremely grateful for that. And the fact that happens has decentralized the music industry, and you no longer have to go through a major record label to get your records heard. However, it always comes at a cost. And of course, I'm receiving very low royalty rates, and everybody is. It's not just me, it's everybody. And it's tough, before, if you sold 1 million records for $1, you're looking at $1 million right there. But 1 million streams gets you about $4,000.
Right. I mean, you're getting like a third to a fifth of a penny. I'm getting tiny. I feel like that's so crazy. And it's like, what changes would you like to see the music industry come back when it comes to making a living off your music?
What I would love to see is a concede that these platforms are the newest way of producing music, the newest way of sharing music, the newest way of consuming music. I think Apple Music and Spotify need to step up their game as far as making the app feel that way and making artists feel that their page on Spotify can be like their press kit for people who are showing them. We already
want to kind of like
Bandcamp. Bandcamp's like that. I think Apple and Spotify need to sit down with the CEO from Bandcamp.
Yeah, and I honestly, higher royalty rates, which are fair for artists, because it's our heart and soul. It's our livelihood. This is where I make my money, is through this. And anytime we get jibbed because, labels are selling our music for lower royalty rates because they have equity on Spotify.
So when you say you want to revamp Apple Music and Spotify, are you talking like Instagram store where you can start posting like merchandise just under your music?
And the Spotify actually has the ability to sell tickets through their platform, sell merchandise through their platform, And that is all extremely helpful. I just want to see more. They finally added the tip jar, which is super helpful. So now people can directly donate to the artist, which is awesome. But I just want to see even more. They added lyrics and Spotify story guest, and they have all this, but I want to see this across the industry. I want to see Apple fully embrace that model. I want to see Deezer fully embrace that model for international listeners. Amazon Music needs to step up their game. There are now new players in the mix, which is TikTok.
I know. Also, I was just about to say that. Yeah, TikTok is now opening up a forum for artists to drop their music there, and then they will launch on Apple Music and Spotify.
And also Twitch as well. I mean, Twitch is fully trying to embrace music. Now,
I mean, they've been kind of in trouble in the past. You know, Dragon Force guitarist used to like doing his streaming of his own music, and then he would get censored by the DMCA.
Yeah,
I mean,
and it sucks. I actually just visited the Twitch headquarters with on this journey. We had a great talk with them. Them and Amazon are trying their hardest to implement new music as a part of their business model, and we want to be front line when that happens. So.
Hey, I think you guys are definitely on top of it. And I know one of the music videos that we're about to be playing for the CCS family right now during Off the Fret, More Music Talk is Go Outside, which I think the visuals to the music video is stellar. And I think what's the coolest thing about you guys, Damien, is that you guys are constantly collaborating with artists that you wouldn't typically think would match so well.
Hell yeah, that's what I love about it, man.
Are you guys planning on doing more collaborations with more artists this year?
I cannot spill the beans.
Oh, come on, man.
But
you know
absolutely.
what? You know when he says that, Marissa? He's definitely saying there is a collaboration.
Oh, 100%. You can't spill the
beans. I can't spill the beans. There might be something. Come on, Damien. Come on, spill it out.
Yes, there are definitely some collabs.
There we go. Okay, that is very exciting because, again, if you guys haven't heard this track, you're in for a treat right now on Off the Fret because this is Cannibal Kids' music video, Go Outside, live on Off the Fret.
I just want to go outside. I don't want to lose my mind. I just want to go outside.
I just want to go outside.
I just want to go outside. I don't want to lose my mind.
I just want to go outside.
So that I don't lose my mind.
I just wanna go outside.
I just wanna go outside. So that I don't lose my mind.
I just wanna go outside.
So that I don't lose my
Twisting, turning, tossing back and forth. I'm sleeping wrong. Sunlight hurts my iris. Nothing feels inspiring. I can't even finish a song.
Ay, ay. Can't tell if it's Monday, Tuesday. Losing track of time. Every day is a loose day. Spend my birthday on Zoom, but not zooming. Staying in the same place. Nobody's moving. Nah. Smoking on the outdoor, indoor. Keep it 6 feet. You could back up a bit more. Now you catch me in my room hoarding on the bitcoins. YouTube rabbit holes just make me wanna sit more. So if you wanna go outside, there's gotta be a compromise. Wishing we could turn back time.
I just wanna go outside.
I don't wanna lose my mind.
I just wanna go outside.
I just wanna go outside. So that I don't lose my mind.
I just wanna go outside.
I just wanna go outside. So that I don't lose my mind.
I just wanna go outside.
So that I don't lose my mind.
Yeah, that was Go Outside, and that is their kick-ass music video from Cannibal Kids, and we got vocalist and rhythm guitarist Damian Gutierrez with us right now. And if you weren't in Cannibal Kids right now, what would you be doing? I mean, would you be working in the garden in Homestead, Florida? I mean, is that the idea?
If I didn't have Cannibal Kids, I'd probably already be moving out of Florida. I would have already
out of the country in the States.
No, I'd probably either end up in like LA or Nashville and get into the songwriting circuit. I mean, that's what I'm the best at. I wear many hats of Cannibal Kids. I can hop into film and into music, but my main thing is songwriting and narrative storytelling.
So if you're into songwriting and storytelling, then what are your thoughts on the new music coming out in 2022? Are you a fan of the new music right now?
Bro,
Is there
I gotta
something
tell
missing?
you, some of these songs have been written over the span of a year. Some of them have been written in a month. This is some of my favorite music I've ever written. I will say I always have a love-hate relationship with Bloom because it's my freshman album, and there's a lot of amateurness to it. It's charming and it's great, and I love that people love that record, but I will always have like this is not my best feat. This is not my best face.
But doesn't that seem like every artist says that? They're like, I know this is my baby, but this next record, it is ours. It's our best music today. So
everybody will say that, but what I will say is every time I go back to writing, I'm getting raw and more expressive and more detailed, and the storytelling is much more
but do you feel like the new music besides Cannibal Kids in 2022 is capturing that, or do you feel like there's something missing with new artists that you're seeing?
Oh, amongst other artists or myself?
I'm saying other artists. Like, are you a fan of the new music that's coming out right now, or are you just kind of like, what the hell is going on with my indie rock scene?
I think this is the greatest time to be alive for music. I mean, if you want to listen to old music, it is there at the touch of your fingertips. You have all history of music in the grass of your own hands. Literally, I can see any record. But what's extremely exciting about what's happening now is that we're getting these really cool fusions and flavors of different types of music. And you're seeing how culture over decades is changing music and
intersectionality.
Yes, it's amazing. And I love it. I love it so much. I love a lot of new artists who are coming out right now. I love artists who are maintaining genres and keeping being like, for instance, like I love Faye Webster. I'm a huge fan of her. She is definitely that indie rock, Mac DeMarco, soft rock, the Carpenters, pulling from the 70s kind of style artist.
Like introducing kind of a new modern take to something that can still resonate today.
She's killing it. But then you have an artist like Remy Wolf, who's like this hip hop, pop, jazz, R&B, hyper pop music, everything. Like she's this culmination of that. I'm also trying to pull in that direction. I want to push pop. The new music is definitely a much more aggressive pop style. It's a mix of alternative rock, heavy distorted guitars, but in a very candy pop style.
See, that sounds kick-ass. I mean, it sounds like you're saying rock is alive and vibrant as ever, but I think that's so cool.
But it's not the rock that our dads grew up with. It's not the rock that our uncles
not the hair metal.
It's not. It's a completely new thing. And you know what? Maybe that inherently is a different thing all on its own. I'm totally fine with this not being called rock. I'm totally fine with this being called something else. I think those terms and this way of looking at music is what makes music progressive, and ultimately what makes records stay around for years and years to come.
I think that's a good point, but there was also something I was reading this month where former Oasis guitarist Noel Gallagher proposed that rock and roll all but pushed out the working class with instruments too expensive and rehearsal spaces are in short supply. Does he have a point? Because, a lot of the times you start thinking like, where are all the 14-year-olds, starting bands nowadays? I mean,
here's what I'll say. I think the avenues of TikTok and Instagram and YouTube and Spotify, we have decentralized what it means to be an artist. And now you don't have to be in LA anymore to make it. You don't have to be in Nashville or New York to make it anymore. You can pop off as a singer-songwriter in Sweden or a little town in LEJ, Georgia. You can pop there because you have this online presence. I do believe the traditional way of making it in music, finding a band, paying $20-40 an hour at a rehearsal space, dropping $7,000 to make an album. That model is gone.
Yeah.
People are making music in their bedrooms. People are making music on their cell phones.
Just like how
People
you
are
said the
advertising.
first time you came on the Chris Collins show for Strike a Chord. You guys were very excited about that lo-fi bedroom pop sound. You know, where I was
So
pressing you,
excited.
go, what the fuck is bedroom mean?
And in the ashes of the old music industry model will be born something new that we've never seen before, and I think it's extremely exciting. The Oasis homie is very much on the money. Music is harder to make now, but it's also that much more accessible. I mean,
Well, what
dude,
about
yeah.
like Damien? What about the people like myself? Because I know I was a self-taught musician. I don't know how you were. I just
Same,
like picked up
I'm
the
self-taught
guitar.
as well,
I was on
self-taught as
ultimateguitar.com. I would like try to pick up the songs and try to listen to my ear, like Sad But True with Metallica, to try to play
Yes,
along at
yes.
the same time. And like for anybody who's like on the fence about investing in picking up an instrument, what would you say to them right now tuning in?
I would say never invest anything more than you're willing to lose, first and foremost. So that's how you're smart with your money. But if after that, it's all about time and passion. At the same time, even though you're not quote unquote seeing 14-year-olds playing guitar after their favorite guitar heroes and the guitar gods of the 80s and 90s. What you're seeing now is kids producing music on their phones, on their iPads, producing hip hop beats on their computers, on FL Studios, being inspired by a new generation of musicians who write music on a computer.
So you're not a hater of anybody leaving the traditional instrument space and then doing it digitally?
No, man. Why would I? I mean, if you go back to the 1920s, what are you going to tell Charlie Parker in the 30s? Hey, dude, stop playing that fucking jazz music. What happened to the Tchaikovsky of the classic era? What are we doing? We got away from. I'm gonna be like, dude, keep pushing forward. Always push the envelope forward. That's how you make great music.
Yeah, I definitely think, you know, when you learn an instrument, it's very therapeutic. It's a healing process. And everything that Damien's saying is so 110% true. And I know the music video that we're about to be playing is Fallen in Love at Wii Sports Resorts. And you sing the following line, quote, "Don't take my heart away. Just stay for another day. Just hold on to what we say, forevermore on display." And do you see your lyrics as a form of poetry, or is it more beyond the catchy lines?
To me, it's always about the imagery that the words bring up. So in a sense, I guess it is poetry. I'm always about painting word pictures. That's all my songs. I'm always painting a word picture in your mind. Each verse should paint like a still in your mind of an event. That's what I'm always trying to go after.
Absolutely. And like we joked in previous episodes, the metaverse dating's coming real soon, and I can't wait to do that at the Wii Sports Resort. And Marissa, let's go ahead and play that music video right now. This is Cannibal Kids, Fallen in Love at Wii Sports Resort, live on Off the Fret.
I've been thinking about how much I need you for a ride, and we could take the back roads until my car says she's tired. I've been thinking about how much I miss when you touch my face, and even on those warm days, side by side we stay. And don't take my heart away. Just stay for another day with me. And don't take my heart away. Just stay for another day. Just hold on to what we say forevermore on display. on display.
So that was Cannibal Kids' music video, Fallen in Love at Wii Sports Resort, live on Off the Fret. And we got vocalist and rhythm guitarist Damian Gutierrez with us right now. And, Cannibal Kids, with each record, including your debuted record, Bloom, the attention to detail on your guys' album artwork is something that I cherish deeply because, I always feel like that's something missing nowadays with artists. And so talk to me about the importance with Cannibal Kids' visual representation.
So I'm extremely visual. I think while I'm writing the music, I'm almost always coming up with the visual aspect at the same time. They're inherently together to me. So I always I work very closely with an artist named Brianna Pedra. She's one of my best friends growing up. She does the majority of the Cannibal Kids artwork. Her and I sit down and collaborate on a lot of this stuff. And it's kind of cool because it's almost like a therapy session for me. I just go, blah, blah, blah. This is all the things that are happening in my life. This is all the crazy shit that's going on with me.
Now draw it.
Yeah. And then she goes, okay, sick. I've got the painting in my mind. And I go, perfect. And we sit and we collaborate. And I go, these are the colors that I want. This is what these colors mean to me. This is the imagery that I want. These are the items or the specific motifs I want you to work with. And she always nails it. And to me, the visual aspect is so important, bro. When I go to a record store, when you're surrounded by all of the artwork and you get to physically touch the music and physically experience it in front of you, that is like a precious moment, and when you look into a book of like the top 10 records, Rolling Stone's top 100 records of all time, it's beautiful looking at all of the record covers and seeing the story and the photos that were taken. And that part of the story is just as important as the music to me.
I think that's so cool. And there's a lot of artists out there that kind of debate whether they view themselves as just physically an artist only and not an entertainer. How do you see yourself?
Oh, it's definitely, I wear many hats, and being an entertainer is definitely one of them. I won't say that that's like the main thing that I do, but it's definitely there. And
we just have to be hyphen artists. I don't care what job, like you're doing music or acting or directing or whatever it is. You got to be a hyphen artist. Gone is, I just do this one thing. You can't.
That's Nobody wants a one-trick pony anymore. And honestly, I wouldn't feel fulfilled if I was just a one-trick pony. I have a desire to be in multiple avenues of the industry. So
I think that's such a great point because especially a lot of times, Marissa, you and I, we would say this like numerous times. There's so many kick-ass artists out there today, but sometimes if they don't show their face with that voice, it's just like radio. If the listening audience can't like reach out to you and feel that personal connection, then sometimes they kind of lose that grasp because, then again, millennials and Gen Z, we're kind of a bunch of narcissists. We kind of love staring at each other, right? I mean, it's such a real thing. And, I got some line in questioning that I need to raise with you, Damian, because we're going to be playing your live music video Graphing. And I had to double look if I was hearing this correctly in the lyrics. And there is a line where you sing at the end where you say, remember when you were staring everywhere in your underwear. Where in the world are you going with this, Damian?
So I love the song Graphing because that was one of my first attempts at writing what I'm talking about, painting word pictures.
Oh, so now I definitely want to know what's going on.
Each verse talks about a different moment. It's kind of like a recollection, which is what the chorus says. I can take you anywhere. I've got these places on repeat, which means like I've got these memories in my mind, like playing over and over again. I remember them extremely well. So in that line, that's just like that post-sex like kind of feel where you're in. So that
if you remember every memory, let's reimagine where your mind process was at when you said the line before that lyric where you said, "It is midnight. We are laying in the dark. Our smell in the air." I know Marissa's kind of quiet right now. She cringes and farts. I'm just saying these are
he's talking about sex, the smell of sex in the air.
Oh, okay. We're going to let him slide.
Chris. I mean, come on, and Chris hasn't had sex in so long, he forgot that there's a smell in the air.
I'm just saying. I had to do a double take. I was like, okay, this line hit first, and then the next one. Okay.
Yes, they're in their underwear staring. Next thing you know, then it's whoop, 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 whoop.
Yes.
Like, Exactly. I got you, Damian. Don't worry, homie. I got you.
Like, Chris, you're trying to set me up right there. There's a totally different definition. All I know is, guys, ladies out there, Damien, he's going to set the tone with that essence stick. And he is, we can learn something, gentlemen. We can learn something from Damien
those
Gutierrez.
beachside candles, man. Those beachside candles are the best. Shout out Yankee Candles, the best candles in the planet.
100%.
Oh my God. I love you, man. I'm going to have the best sex going into this, post-pandemic because of Damien Gutierrez. I love you for that, my man. And you know what? I love that you guys do this because a lot of artists have been skipping this idea of a live music video. And I think you guys should continue to do this because I always love feeling like I'm in that club with you. And I want to take you along with that journey, CCS family. And here is Cannibal Kids' live music video, Graphing, live on Off the Fret.
Hey! Patiently, since October, I've waited here on a summer's day. Television, we are watching the movie screens. You are by my side. Remember when you were staring everywhere in your underwear? Oh, baby. And if we go to another place, I can take you anywhere. I got these places on repeat for you, girl. And if we go to another place, I can take you anywhere. I got these places on repeat for you, girl. And if we go, in the ocean, we are standing, the current strong, the boat is far away. It is midnight, we are laying in the dark, our smell is in the air. Remember when you were staring everywhere in your underwear? Oh, baby. And if we go to another place, I can take you anywhere. I got these places on repeat for you, girl. And if we go to another place, yeah, and I can take you anywhere. I got these places on repeat for you, girl. And if we go,
Yeah, that was Cannibal Kids, and that is their live music video, Graphing, on Off the Fret. More music talk. And Damien, you're currently in Los Angeles, but where's next? Are you going home?
Yeah, I'm going to spend a few more days in Los Angeles. I got to run home to Florida in the next day or two. I got to continue working on this record. I got to prep for a new song that's coming out called Make It With You that's coming out in April. I got a music video that's dropping the same day. I basically hit the ground running, man. There's no breaks. I've got a 2-day break and then I go straight back to work. So
let's get it. Are you over the hill or is the best yet to come?
Dude, the best is yet to come. Oh my God.
I love it.
I
love
love
it.
hearing that message, and we're about to be wrapping up this podcast. But, if you had one message that you would give to the fans right now, what would it be?
I just want to say thank you to everybody who came out to see us on this tour and came out on a Wednesday, on a Thursday to come see us in your busy life. And we're still in a somewhat of a weirdly post-pandemic world, and live music isn't totally back, but it's definitely back, but it's not exactly back. So the fact that people are even coming out to enjoy the music means the world to me. Some people drove 2 hours to come to our show. Some people followed us in California to come to every show, and it was so special. I mean, and for any other artist who's out there who's doubting themselves that says, oh, like, I don't have the money or I don't have the talent to do it. You can do it, man. Put your 10,000 hours in, believe in yourself, work hard every day, and you will see people resonate with your message. So that's all I
Damien
got.
Gutierrez,
That was
I think
good.
that's
I like that. That was a
beautiful-
really good one, Damien. That was good.
I mean, that's why he's so genuine. I mean, this is an artist that you can absolutely fall in love with. And I mean, send Luke and Dustin our love as well. I think you guys are amazing souls. And thank you again for joining Off the Fret. More music talk.
Thank you guys so much for having me, man. You guys are great. I'll see you guys soon.
All right, rock and roll. Peace.
Bye, guys.
Sweet and talk about it.